Have you done your chores? Have you cleaned your room? Have you washed your ass or the asses of others? Did you go to the gym? Are you in bed and you're a little tired? But if you got up and went to the gym right now, you'd feel better after your warm-up set? Or if you slam pre-workout, maybe your pre-workout has caffeine in it, but it's too late, so you don't want to be caffeinated and be up all night. So you will eventually, if you want and if you can, get some caffeine-free pre-workout. And think about that for future endeavors. I'm thinking about that right now. Hi, welcome to Noah Time. That was so fucking meditative for no reason. One thing you often see incels and black pillars specifically say is looks matter. Looks matter. Some of them say looks are everything. Looks are the only thing that matters. I would disagree with those people. But on the looks matter front, that's true. I think that's true. And I think I'm tired of acting like it isn't. I'm not going Joker, guys. I've been researching incels for a video I'm working on my main channel. And I don't know, I'm having some interesting thoughts and feelings about it that I wanted to share here because I can't really get them down on a piece of paper in an organized manner. And that's what you guys are here for. You're here to open your ear holes and let me fill them up with, I guess, whatever I like. And whatever comes out in the comment section that you guys like is what I'm going to use. Saying that looks matter might not sound like a controversial statement. It's like, yeah, of course they do. You know, if you want to date, you're going to need to find someone attractive. The person will want to find you attractive, and you'll want to find them attractive, and then you'll be able to date. And if you don't find each other attractive, it's probably not going to work. Pretty simple. It might seem obvious, but I think it's worth talking about and worth saying outright because we have been inundated growing up and in our lives and just in popular culture with kind of truisms about the importance of being kind or compassionate or funny and sort of leaving looks out of the conversation almost as if it's a taboo, which I guess it kind of is. And the reason I think that is because just think about ugly people. When I even say the phrase ugly people, am I being insulting? No, I'm not. There's ugly people in the world. There's beautiful people, there's ugly people. I'm not some like looks or objective type of person. But ugly people exist, and ugly people, if they know that they're ugly, they'll tell you that they're ugly and they'll tell you that it sucks. And that's why, I bring that example up to say that, we use the word ugly in a pejorative manner, in the same way that we use the word fat in a pejorative manner. I say we as in just the broader culture. And I think that's bad, because being fat or being ugly are not inherently bad things. They don't make you a bad person. They don't make you worth less. But in a lot of ways, in the eyes of society, they do. You'll get treated worse if you're fat. You'll get treated worse if you're ugly. It feels to me like there aren't a lot of spaces on the internet where being ugly can be talked about openly, where being ugly and talking about how you're mistreated for that is the center of the conversation. Maybe there are, but for me, when I'm just researching, it feels like I have to seek those spaces out. And usually they're not even spaces. There's just like a few, viral Reddit posts or a few viral YouTube videos of people talking about it. And the comments are usually pretty supportive. They're like, this was very brave to open up about. And because it feels like there aren't any spaces to really have those conversations, it's kind of not surprising to me that what you end up with is incels. Incel is a pretty loaded term, so just to clarify, there's a spectrum from incel in its literal definition of involuntarily celibate, which there's no morals attached to that necessarily. It's just someone that is unable to find love or physical attraction from anyone. That basic definition isn't even necessarily gendered, and it's also, I think, very common. It's just people that are having trouble dating and aren't successful. Would many of those people call themselves incels actively? I would think not, and the reason for that is because there's another end of the spectrum of the definition, which is capital I, incels, which is, your Elliot Rodger types. That was an incel spree killer who killed a bunch of people and hated women and did it because he said he hated women. I shouldn't even say Elliot Rodger types, because Elliot Rodgers are such a small, tiny percentage, the people who actually turn violent because of it. And by that I mean this more so the misogynistic elements to the definition, the movement, as it were. I guess that's the difference. One of them is a definition, and one of them is more of a movement, a signifier of a group. I think ugly people and people that are undesired in whatever other ways of physical attraction exist all along that spectrum, which is why it's difficult. Because when I say, it would be good if there were more spaces to talk openly about that, the spaces that do talk about it usually swing it around to being about how it's women's fault and how their standards are too high, and if they just lowered them, then the world would be okay because they'd let them fuck. They let them have sex with them. When in reality, if you just talk to people or read what people talk about when they're speaking on loneliness, the vast majority of people that are in that position, the vast majority of men, don't actively take out their resentments about this process on the people in their lives. That's a pretty kind of online niche subculture kind of thing, which is not to say that men resenting women doesn't exist. Obviously, that's a thing. But I mean specifically about actively making content or consuming content or just bringing it up. I don't know, you see messages on dating apps of guys being freaks. It's common, but it's not as common as you'd think. And it's not as common as you might like to believe if you were just watching a bunch of videos about incels all day, which is what I've been doing. And it's breaking my brain. Sorry, I was really just very small looking. Now I'm big, like Tom Cruise. One narrative you'll see from kind of like centrist spaces on the internet or popular spaces that talk about, that want to talk about men's issues is the idea that the moment a man talks about having a bad date or feeling alone or feeling like he needs physical touch and physical affection, people slap the incel label on him, and you're not allowed to talk about that stuff without being, demonized. And in some sense, I think there's that does happen. Like, you've seen that happen. The word incel is used as a pejorative, kind of like ugly, and sometimes it's misused in that way. It's the label is applied to someone where it might not be 100% accurate, or I think more commonly it's applied to someone who is maybe showing some elements of misogyny in expressing their frustration, but instead of checking the misogyny specifically, the incel label is applied, slapped onto them, and then the conversation ends there. I don't think it's like caving to their ideology to acknowledge that does happen, but I think what that leaves out is the fact that there's another side of incel culture that does act like that, and that people will understandably be hypersensitive to, especially if they are the targets and the victims of the kind of like incel misogynistic harassment that happens online. So it's kind of like you just, I guess, want to show empathy all across the board, which that's not what the internet is for. So, moot point. What I want to try in this video is, two groups of people I want to talk to in the comment section if you want to open up about it. Ugly people or incels. Lowercase I, incels. Or capital I don't know. Do y'all have a place to go to talk about that shit? If there's somewhere in real life, tell us about it. If there's someone online, really tell us about it, because that's what I'm trying to figure out, is if that's even possible to have happen. And with any incels watching, and that's the non-gendered version, the kind of, you guys are being normal and good job definition of the word, what are those conversations like online? Have you tried to have them? If so, do people freak out? Do people agree? Have you caught yourself being misogynistic or resentful towards women? Or I guess, misandrous towards men, if that's been your experience. Not in a like confess your sins kind of way, because I don't give a fuck. I think the more important thing is trying to figure out how we can hold space for people to like do that, and work through the bad elements of those resentments and bring us to a healthier place. And I don't know what that looks like, but maybe there's some type of resource out there that y'all could point me to for this. I think all of these conversations tie back into alienation, loneliness, how the internet causes that, how capitalism causes that, how, generally, in a lot of ways, life sucks, and how we got to find the good in the bad, how we got to go outside and sit in the grass. If we have if we have a moment to do so, we got to keep it positive. A lot of when I'm reading these posts, ugly people and or incels don't want to be patronized to. They don't want to be told, it's going to be okay, bro. Just go outside, bro. Just figure your shit out. And unfortunately, that is how someone trying to help on the internet often usually manifests, is just being told something that's like a truism, Go try, have you tried this? Have you tried that? I had an interaction in the comment section like that the other day. And what I've realized is I understand why they could feel patronizing, but it's kind of like, what other options are there? What else do you do here? You can sit in it, or you can get out of it. Getting out of it's not easy, but sitting in it, you need to sit in it sometimes, straight up. Sometimes you gotta put the fucking playlist on and sit in it for long periods. And there's no shame in sitting in it for long periods, especially like regarding like mental illness and things like that and depression. I've sat on some shit. I've sat on poo-poo. I need to wash my ass. But then I come to this place of, okay, true, but also, fuck it, we ball. Watch some hopecore on TikTok. I'm gonna play a hopecore video here, maybe. I fucking love those videos. Let the indomitable human spirit consume you and light a fire under that ass. Okay, everybody, it's 7:05 p.m. I need to go to the gym, the James. Thanks for hanging out. Was this good? Did this help? Did we crack open a little new space for anyone? I hope so. If not, well, we'll try again next time. This has been Noah Time, and I am leaving. I'm turning off the camera.